So, Jack, we have some big news in the world of F1 this week. Usually we just sit here and talk about the races, but we've actually got some big news.
Yeah,
Perez's contract. Yeah, coming off a triple header, we've got Perez's contract, Hamilton's contract, upgrades, Adrian Newey, a load of big stuff regarding Red Bull and McLaren. Like, what's going on, man? Or what have you got for me today?
Well, we'll kick it off with just F1 in general right now.
Yep.
Rolex.
Okay.
Obviously, big thing. We know that clock ticking over to start the formation lap. That's the Rolex clock.
I love the little demonstration you did. It's like you're in primary school, and it's like, oh, how does a clock work? Tick tock. What's the hand pointing to? No.
Shut up. Right. Shut up. I'm bringing facts.
Okay, come on then. You bring your facts.
Now, Rolex reportedly is quitting F1 as a sponsor.
Yes.
With a €50 million deal. That was annually, by the way, that they were paying.
That's so much money.
It was so much money. And that's quite sad, to be honest. I quite like the clock. That's part of my highlight of the weekend, to be honest.
That's quite sad.
I keep doing the hand thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to stop. But, good news. The group that could be taking over is I'm reading it now, LVMH Group.
Who are they?
Do you know who they are?
No idea.
That group owns brands such as Tag Heuer and Hubler.
Oh, so, we might get a
It'll be another
clock.
watch brand.
Yeah.
So the clock's staying, people. We don't need to worry.
That's... You just panicked us all then for a second. Oh no, the clock was going to be gone from the formation lap.
The formation lap was going to start then, do we?
Fuck's sake.
Anyway, new deal.
Yeah.
That could be reportedly worth, right? Hear me out here. €150 million. No, dollars this time. $150 million a year.
It makes me depressed, sometimes how much money. Sorry, excuse me. How much money goes into these sponsorship deals? Like not only that.
Us?
Yeah, where's my share of this money? Like,
I could be the clock.
Yeah, just get you up there. No, but it is ridiculous. Sponsorship money nowadays is ridiculous. We just saw it with HP and Ferrari as well, with that deal being one of the biggest in the company's history. So it's big. It's crazy. But yeah.
We've kicked this off with quite boring news, to be honest.
Yeah, but this is probably the worst news we've got, and
we've moved on from it.
Let's go. Okay, moving on to the teams. Let's move on to the teams.
I think I would like to move on to Sergio Perez.
Oh,
he's the bigger than Sergio Perez.
Yes.
Now, the interesting thing is Helmut Marko has allegedly confirmed that they will reevaluate Perez in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't come as a surprise to me.
No.
After his recent performances. I don't know about you. But, yeah.
That doesn't come as a surprise to me. No, it's I was surprised they jumped the gun. I always
his contract early, didn't they?
Yeah, I think though, realistically, I think it's all Hamilton's fault, right? So it is. Hamilton signing with Ferrari before the season even started has caused all of these teams to jump the gun with their drivers. Yeah. They've had to, because there's a vacant seat in Mercedes. Some teams don't want drivers to move on. And then we had the whole Carlos Sainz situation when it didn't look like he wanted to sign for Red Bull. Red Bull had to be like, okay, well, we need someone who we know is going to be around. We need a driver that we can rely on. They obviously thought Sergio Perez. Let's get him signed to the contract.
Sergio Perez
Definitely wasn't the right choice, as we've clearly seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all goes back to Hamilton. I think he has really made teams panic, and I think that played a big part in why Red Bull panicked and re-signed Perez.
But yeah. I mean, okay, it's all Hamilton's fault.
Yeah, but here's my question though. I mean, I'm sure we'll make a video on this in the break if his performances in Hungary or Belgium don't improve, because the prospect will be on the horizon. But who replaces him? Because if that clause is it, because he's got a clause, right, in his contract.
Well, the alleged clause is, here we go. So the alleged clause in Checo's new contract, he has a performance clause, which includes not being more than 100 points behind Max Verstappen.
Yep.
Come to the Belgian Grand Prix, which currently he's sat at 137 behind.
Yeah, so he's fucked basically.
Yeah, and or, so it's a slash. So he might be saved by the slash and the or bit. More than 5 places behind in the Drivers' Championship, which he is currently 5 places behind.
So he sits sixth in the championship, right?
Both Mercedes within touching distance.
So there is a fight for, I believe, is it third place is quite close between. It's from. I forget. I'm with the 24 races a season, the championship is fucking hard to follow nowadays.
If form continues, it's a fight for third.
Yeah.
I think Lando's will be clear second.
Yeah.
I think Max is clear first.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, it's not as clear as you think. I mean, I just took a little goosey gander after Britain.
Goosey.
Yeah. Obviously, Max in first, Lewis down in 8th. I think, unless my maths was wrong, 145 points between Lewis and Max, or 245. Could be 245.
No, it's 100. It'll be 100. It won't be 200.
145 between Lewis and Max.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, isn't a lot.
No, it's not a lot. I'm not saying Lewis is in it by any stretch of the imagination, but it is relatively close.
Yeah, and this is the thing. So there is hope for Perez.
I'm gonna pull it up now just to double check that one.
There is hope for Perez. I mean, he could secure third place. There is a battle for third at the moment. We've got Piastri in there. The Ferrari's poor form has helped him. Mercedes are in there as well. He's just got to outperform them. He shouldn't be beating Max and Lando. I don't think anyone expects him to. But if he can...
I've got him up now. Here we go. So, yeah, Perez is sat in 618 points.
Yeah.
Max is on 255.
Yeah, so it's roughly 150.
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton's on 110.
Yeah, so it's close. It's very close.
And Hamilton's down in 8th. So I think the battle from Hamilton on 110 8th, and then Charles is third with 150. So 40 points from third to 8th.
Yeah, I mean, one retirement and a good result can put him right within.
Exactly. So it's a battle for third between, I think it'll be Charles, Sainz, Piastri, Perez, Russell, and Hamilton.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't see Perez coming out on top in that.
I see Perez coming out last in that.
Yeah, I do as well. And this is the most unfortunate thing. So, obviously, with these clauses, if they get activated, who do they replace him with?
I mean, I think also in the clauses, they could... Yeah, I mean, we could see a mid-season driver swap between Yuki and Perez.
This is what I mean. I think it could very well happen. Because you said this is the clause for mid-season, right?
This is the clause for after Belgium, yes.
So that means that there is clause to replace him mid-season if the constructor's title is under threat.
I do think if Perez has these clauses in his contract, Yuki's going to have some clauses in his as well. Because as we know, Yuki's signed a new one.
Which is really, really interesting. So do you reckon it's a Yuki and Sergio swap?
It's on the cards. Do I think they'll do it? I'm not sure. But it's on the cards.
It'd be interesting if it does happen.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Well, here's a great stat for you, and you're going to love this one.
Okay.
It's ridiculous, by the way. Logan Sargent has outqualified Sergio Perez 7 out of the 12 races this season.
Oh, no! Oh, that's awful from Checo. He can't do that. He can't do that. That's unbelievable. He can't do that.
How's that happened?
This is why Sargent's still in that Williams seat. He goes into those meetings, right? They go, okay, you're being outperformed by Alex every single weekend. You need to pick up the pace.
I'm
He goes,
outperforming Perez.
mate, I've outqualified a Red Bull half of the races. What else more do you want me to do? Unbelievable. Get Perez gone, man. That's not right. It's not right. Good grief.
Yeah, I told you it was a ridiculous stat.
That's crazy. But, yeah, Perez needs... I mean, I like Sergio Perez. I always have. Why? I've always liked Perez. He's one of the OGs on the grid at the moment. I really wish... Yeah, I wish he does well. But that Red Bull seat is just not cut out for him.
He's not good enough for a big team.
And don't get me wrong, I think it's partly down to Max being unbelievable.
Yeah,
because the Red Bull is not as quick. But also then, you take it back to 2022 and 2023, where the Red Bull was absolutely miles up the road. Perez was still not second. So
And the thing is as well, that people can say, oh, it's Max making that look good. Perez is where the Red Bull should be. Behind Logan Sargent, it's not where that Red Bull should be.
No, absolutely not. The car's definitely not there. But anyways.
They need to work on that. But brighter news on Red Bull. Shall we move on to their new hypercar road car?
Yeah, so they I mean, a little deviation from F1, but it's quite cool, isn't it?
It's still in because they've also it's Adrian Newey.
Yes.
Who has designed this aerodynamically, kind of like a Formula One car.
Yes. Isn't it meant to be quicker than a Formula One car?
Yeah, well, I've got some stats for you, actually.
Go on then.
I've done my research, boy.
Go on. Let's hear the stats.
So, the RB17, that's what it's called.
Yep.
It's aspirated V10 with 1,000 horsepower built into the Cosworth 200 horsepower of E-Train. No idea what that means.
As you can tell, we are not mechanical engineers by any stretch of the imagination.
What I'm getting from it is 1,200 brake horsepower.
It's quick. It's just as quick.
875 kg weight. That's light. For a car, that's really light.
I mean, it's heavier than an F1 car, but...
Yeah, well, obviously it's going to be heavier than an F1 car. It's supposed to be road legal.
Supposed to be.
Yeah. Top speed, 217 miles an hour.
Which is very quick.
Yep.
Yep.
Active suspension, produce 1,700 kilograms of downforce at 240 kilometers per hour.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. And what is being said, it would have beaten George Russell's pole lap time at Silverstone.
Yeah. Wait, what?
So
George Russell's pole time?
Yes.
Oh, wait, yeah, he was on pole. For some reason I thought Hamilton was on pole. No, it was George, wasn't it?
George Russell was on pole.
Yeah, so it's quick.
That car would have been faster than George Russell's pole at Silverstone.
Yeah, it's quick.
So, yeah, and there's only going to be 50 of these cars made with a price of around £6 million, if not more.
And to be fair, like, I think I really like that Red Bull have allowed Newey to do that, because it's kind of like he's leaving Red Bull. This is kind of like his magnum opus of race car. They've just said, Newey, design the most fuck-off ridiculous car you can. Go.
And he has.
And he's done it.
He bloody has. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. It looks good. It looks good.
It looks ridiculous. I'm looking at the pictures now.
I mean, you know what's interesting about that is that's genuine. Without regulations, that is genuinely what Formula One cars would look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something similar to that. Obviously, probably a lot lighter. They'd probably make them a lot lighter. But they'd probably look something more towards that kind of, let's just make it ridiculously aerodynamically and...
I wonder if it's got a radio in it.
Mate, this shit can beat a Formula One car and you're worried if it's got a radio in it.
Yeah, just drive around Silverstone like Lady Gaga blaring or something.
That'd be cool. But anyway, yeah, so let's move on to McLaren. Speaking of Red Bull, actually, you have a bit of McLaren news.
McLaren's from Amos.
Yep.
AMUS. That's how you spell it, people.
Who, by the way, are very reliable.
They are quite reliable. Apparently, Zach Brown has been in contact with Red Bull regarding a possible engine partnership.
Yes.
That's quite interesting. Obviously, 2026 regulations. New engines coming in. McLaren want to go towards the Red Bull powertrain.
So McLaren, you know what? Okay, so there's two things that I think about this. Number one, it's very, it's interesting given the news with Hamilton leaving Mercedes, wanting to go to Ferrari. So that kind of informs the narrative that Hamilton's sort of seeing what Mercedes are doing for 2026. Don't like it. Maybe McLaren have sort of had the same intuition.
The same. I mean, the rumours are Zach Brown's not. He's 50-50 on the reliability of that Mercedes engine, which is quite interesting.
So, either way, it leads into this idea that maybe Mercedes don't have the best engine overall, the best package for 2026.
Creating that narrative, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The second thing I don't think Red Bull will let them. I think it's a situation where I can't remember what it was now. It was years and years and years ago, before maybe even the turbo hybrid. But there was a situation like this happened before. I think it was a rival team wanted a Mercedes engine, and they got shut down because they were a direct rival of. It could have been Red Bull actually. I'm not too sure. It possibly was. I think it was Red Bull I
think Red Bull wanted Mercedes.
It was. Well, no, was it Mercedes? No. Red Bull wanted Ferrari engines at some point.
Was it Ferrari?
I think it was. It was years and years and years ago. I could be chatting out my ass, but I think I remember this correctly.
Is this before the Renault engine?
No. This is
when they were looking for the engine after the Renault.
This is where Renault potentially wasn't. Was it in the turbo hybrid engine? I can't remember. It might have been. Anyway, it was many moons ago. Red Bull at one point, within the last 10 or 20 years, I remember they wanted a Ferrari engine, but they got told no because they were a direct. Yeah. And I think the same thing could potentially happen here, where they want a Red Bull engine. By the way, I saw the Red Bull Powertrains HQ at Milton Keynes yesterday, which was quite interesting. But they wanted a Red Bull Powertrains engine, because maybe potentially they don't think the Mercedes is going to be good enough. But with that said, I don't think they'll let them, because I mean, we don't know who their direct competitors will be.
Mercedes and McLaren are direct competitors.
Yes, they are, but they already had a contract for that engine before.
Yeah, they did. I mean, what's the interesting thing is obviously the Alpine rumours wanting a new engine. They could go Mercedes. Now, if Alpine snub Mercedes and go Ferrari, it's worrying times, because obviously Aston Martin are leaving Mercedes engines.
Yeah, everyone's leaving Mercedes engines, which is crazy.
Apart from Mercedes and Williams.
Yeah, and what I also think is interesting, we've now got another competitor in the ring with Audi, bringing their own engines. So it'll be interesting.
Could Alpine have Audi engines?
Well, I mean, I think they'll see how they perform first, and then I think we might see some Audi engines. But yeah, it's all very interesting, isn't it?
It is. It caught me off guard seeing that one.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to.
Can we stay on Mercedes?
Oh yes, we'll stay on Mercedes.
Toto Wolff. Latest rumours are, again, I tell you this all the time.
This is every podcast.
Mercedes.
Oh great.
Upgrades for Mercedes.
Okay.
Hungary and Belgium. That's what they're saying. No, nothing major, just little tweaks here and there. But if they keep churning off these upgrades, no wonder Mercedes are now back.
Yeah, no, they've figured out their car finally. It's a little bit too late. But what I think will be interesting is if they can continue to make the strides forward that they have this season.
Yeah.
I mean, we could see maybe a Mercedes challenging for the title next season. So I think that could be interesting.
It's definitely a potential. I think it's going to be a hell of a year next year.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be close. But Mercedes will definitely be in there. And whoever's in that seat next to Russell will have to perform.
Yeah,
there'll be big pressure. Perez. There'll be a big pressure. And I think if they hit the ground running, George is in within a chance of the title as well. So I think it's very, very interesting if Mercedes do get it right. Far. No, I would genuinely. You know, if they finally figured it out, I think it could be time.
The problem with me is, at this point in time, like we've seen close, like how close Mercedes, McLaren, and Red Bull are for the past couple of races. Well, especially Silverstone.
Yeah.
I just don't like if it's that close. I still see Hamilton, Lando, Max all ahead of George. I see George as a race winner, not a champion, a world champion.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see in due time, won't we, with that one?
We will. I'm calling it out.
We'll see. We'll see in due time. Every opportunity you get to slander this man. But either way, any more news? Give us. Have you got any more little tidbits, maybe?
Well, we'll move a little bit on from Mercedes, kind of sticking with them, but leaving them like Lewis Hamilton is. Lewis Hamilton.
Yep, good segue.
3-year contract at Ferrari, so until 2027.
Yes.
Is his contract.
Which
that's quite interesting. That Ferrari signed him for 2 years into the new regs.
It makes sense.
We obviously thought it was just 2026, didn't we?
We did. It makes sense though, because I believe he probably thinks there's a project there. That obviously he comes. So I reckon the mentality is Hamilton comes into Ferrari in 2025, gets to know the team, gets to know the way things work, gets to integrate himself into that team next to Charles and hit the ground running. 2026, if they're not quite where they want to be, they can start to make improvements from there. Obviously, he already believes in the project. He believes they'll be at the front. But if maybe Red Bull or McLaren or whoever are still in front, he's there to sort of push them in the right direction. And then 2027 will be his final bow out, his final challenge for that 8th world title, if it hasn't already come in 26, and he'll go for it. And I think that's the mentality.
Yeah. Well, Fred Vasseur, his actual quote was, Lewis had to decide where would be the best place for him to win the 2025, 26, and 27 titles. And
I mean, to be fair, if he could win all 3, I mean, that's blessed for Hamilton, right? But
if he wins 3, that's ridiculous.
Like, goated. I mean, he's already goated, but...
He's already goated.
Yeah, but that would be goated on another level.
Yeah, that would be 11-time world champion, because he's already 8.
So, isn't he the only driver in F1 history to win a race in 3 different decades?
Something like that. He's the only driver in F1 history to win a race after 300 Grand Prix.
Yes, he is, yeah. That's true.
Hamilton just keeps breaking records.
By the way, can I just mention, Schumacher could have done that in Monaco 2012. But then he got a penalty. He was on pole and then got a penalty, unfortunately. Which would have been really, really cool to see. Schumacher winning the Monaco Grand Prix. That would have been amazing, but unfortunately, never happened. But it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a bit of a higgledy-piggledy news week off from F1.
Yes.
Kind of update podcast video.
Yeah, and but stay tuned for tomorrow's video.
We like a little break.
Exactly. Tomorrow, I've enjoyed not having. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the races, but I do like these in between weeks where it's kind of.
You've had a week off in Greece. You can shut up.
I enjoy doing this. This is my life right now. So. But anyway, we'll see you on Tuesday for Tuesday's video. And then Thursday's video, which will be the preview for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Like and subscribe. We'll see you then.